All right, welcome into the latest edition of Rewatch Reaction. Paul Dehner Jr. and Charlie Goldsmith are here, and we're going to do it, folks. We did the hard work that you didn't want to do. You didn't even want to think about yesterday, but look, we have to, okay? We have to dig into what is going on with this defense so we can provide you with answers. But it's more than that. We're going to do more than provide just defensive answers today. We are going to talk a little bit about a run game that had an unbelievable October that no one saw coming, including being ranked number 1 in rushing efficiency in the month of October in the NFL. Can't tell you I would have thought that had been the case when we were all on flights coming back from Denver on Monday Night Football. But we'll get to that. Justin Hill, Bengals running backs coach, is going to join us for that. But outside of that, we are going to talk about the obvious. We need to dissect what happened in the Jets game defensively, some of the bigger picture themes of what that all means. And Charlie, I will open it up to you and ask you, where'd you start?
I started with the explosive runs allowed, and kind of the message post-game coming from the locker room was, we just got to tackle better, too many missed tackles. It all came down to the missed tackles. And I thought there's much more at play than that. And there were a couple other things that we'll look at, but it really did come down to all the missed tackles. I feel like most of the time, and not to credit Al Golden, because no one deserves credit right now, but a lot of times it looks like they're in the right calls. They're doing plays, concepts, they're running plays and concepts that should work for the situation that they're in. Now, of course, what the Bengals brought in Al to do was accelerate the pace of young guys figuring out what they should be doing and improving the fundamentals and the technique of a group that they knew it was going to be young, and that part's been failing. And they can't tackle, and the tackling's getting worse as the season goes along, and there are just technical mistakes you see pop up over and over.
The thing that I come back to, and when I was going through these plays, and there's, first of all, there's 4 rushes of 25 plus yards, which is just gross and unbelievable. I mean, there's 7 teams that have had allowed more than 4 rushes of 25 plus yards all year. And the Bengals did it here in one game. They'd only had 1 rush of 25 plus yards allowed and before the game against Pittsburgh. And now they've had 5 in the last 2 games. The thing that is showing up to me is how consistently a rookie is involved in this, Charlie. Like I go through the plays here, and I'm sitting here and I'm saying, okay, there's Demetrius Knight. There's Barrett Carter. When I was writing down who was the main perpetrator, who was the one at fault, if you're doing the top of the blame game here. There's others, of course, but it's Carter, it's Knight, it's Shamar Stewart not knowing what he's doing on the edge. You just see that show up over and over again, this inexperience. And there's sort of this idea of, well, this is where it's at. They're willing to play the growing pains game with these guys because, well, they don't really feel like they have anywhere else to turn to. The idea of getting through these growing pains is the plan. Dealing with growing pains and these issues that show up is the plan. I'm just going to start playing. I put together one loop, which is kind of a sad thing, of the explosive runs. And when you watch them, you do see the same people at play. Okay. This very first play, you have this jet sweep to old friend Isaiah Williams. Watch Demetrius Knight. Geno Stone comes up and sets the edge outside. Knight should be running in this alley. Watch this hesitation from 44. The hesitation when he sees that to get out there. He sees right in front of him Isaiah Williams take the jet sweep. The hesitation from 44 to get out there. Watch it again. Oh, that extra shuffle's the difference. That's it. Not sure what you're seeing. An extra shuffle from a rookie, and all of a sudden that thing goes for 25. Okay,
but you know what?
It's a rookie error.
You also have Geno Stone running into a blocker instead of running to the ball, and he's one of the most experienced guys on this defense. Yes, it's the rookies, keep going, but it's everybody.
Yeah. and there's a sense of, okay, yeah, take on the block or set the edge, but there's the guy. Make a play at that too. And there seems to be no sense of doing that. But that's the linebacker's play. I mean, when I'm writing down number one, that's the linebacker's play. That's Demetrius Knight's play. He's late to see it. He doesn't react fast enough. He can't make the play that's right there to be made in front of him. That's his play. We go to the next one. Here's a 10+ yard run that just goes absolutely right up the middle. The end zone view is good on this one. We'll just keep an eye up the middle again. Watch what we see here from number 49 right in the middle of your screen, Barrett Carter. Okay, there it is. Oh, pops into the wrong gap. Doesn't see it. Breece Hall goes around him. Some of that stuff can be forgiven, but again, it's not necessarily knowing what you're seeing and going to the wrong spot.
Also, TJ Slayton has a rare one-on-one and just loses like he's, sorry, Andre Yosevich in one of these one-on-one coverages against, I forget the slot corner Brownlee. Like TJ Slayton just loses at exactly the thing you signed him to do. You're 100% right. It's the young guys, and I'm 100% right. It's the old guys. It's what does Al Golden say? He said this last week: a level or a failure on every level.
It is a failure at every level. Let's go back here and take a quick look at this. I mean, this play here is as simple as the guys in the hole. I mean, Barrett Carter gets to the spot. He comes into the spot. You are 1-1. It is your job, 49 in the middle of your screen. As Demetrius Knight comes in, Barrett Carter should make that right. I don't know what else to say. You have a linebacker in the hole to make the tackle. Like, you just have to make that play. And then you throw on top of it a bad angle from Jordan Battle. Which is
my defining
on the sideline view.
My defining picture in my head about this game is I think there were 2 or 3 moments where Battle is obviously ahead of the ball carrier, and then he ends up chasing him from behind. You shouldn't get from one point to the other. Obviously, you have to go through that straight line, but Battle somehow is on such a loopy angle that your strong safety, your hardest hitter in the secondary, is multiple times ending up chasing the ball.
I mean, there was 12 yards of difference between him and the ball carrier when they're just staring at each other one-on-one straight ahead, and he doesn't even get a hand on him, until he's running well past him down the sideline. Like, this is stuff. Jordan Battle should not be making those mistakes. I mean, it's like that should not in any way be a guy of his level of what he's counted on to be in this defense, the type of player he's supposed to be. That it should not look like that. I mean, you're not even. I laugh because I don't think PFF had him for a missed tackle in this game, but he wasn't. That's because he wasn't even able to get close enough to miss the tackle. And like, that guy is supposed to be somebody you're absolutely counting on, and you're just not seeing it. So let's go as this goes on, and we continue on here. More explosive plays coming your way. This one, again, it's just off right tackle, right? I mean, you're talking, these are not crazy plays. It's just, hey, run off tackle. All right, so let's move forward now. We've got the 35-yarder coming up here, Charlie. These are not crazy plays. These are basic off tackle right stuff. I mean, it's not like smoke and mirrors and craziness, though.
Hit the play button here. The Jets are about to motion a tight end across. Demetrius Knight, look at him at the top of your screen near the line of scrimmage. All right, so the tight end comes back. Demetrius is like, help, guys here. Front doesn't adjust. Demetrius is calling for help that never comes, and the running back has a pretty open lane to get to. The tight end motion back to Knight's side. Knight saying, hello. You'll see it much better here. So, and I'd forgot the Jets double motioned here. So, all right, tight end motions far side away from Knight. All right, good. Check. Tight end or can from Justin Field. Tight end motions back. Knight's waving. Shift over here. and there's nothing. And then two guys take on Knight, and he gets blown off the ball. That lets the tight end get uphill and demolish Logan Wilson. And all of a sudden, you've got a free lane going down the sideline. Game, set, match. Here it is one more time. Watch how the tight ends, or the tight end, or it ends up being two tight ends, just destroy Demetrius Knight. To me, that comes down to communication.
Not only that, then let's take a breath here on this play. Okay. Now you have these three guys. We have the triangle of death. We have Demetrius Knight, Logan Wilson, and Shamar Stewart, who deserves recognition for getting absolutely destroyed on this play, and gets blown all the way back into one big trash heap pile about 5 to 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. I'll let this play out because they all just run into each other in a heap. Shamar goes down. I mean, that is just everyone getting blown away right at the point of attack. You mentioned, yes, communication. Sure, that's part of it. There's no doubt about that. But, I mean, that's also just getting manhandled and thrown all the way back. I mean, what happens to Logan Wilson on this play? It can't look like this. I mean, just destroyed to the point that other people are getting destroyed over top of him. And then all the rest goes wrong. And, honorable mention on this one for Barrett Carter, 49 on the right side, who actually does maybe have the ability to break through and make a play. But there's, he stops. Like, he thinks he's,
and then there's Jordan Battle trailing again.
Yes. It's just compounding of mistakes where, a word that was used today by Zach Taylor multiple times. I think I was trying to keep track of how many times he said it, was hesitancy. And to me, that's inexperience. What I'm talking about, rookies involved in all of this. Inexperience, not totally sure what you're supposed to be doing because you haven't seen it before. And yeah, maybe they learn from these mistakes, but you're living with these mistakes and they're costing you games. Hesitancy. You see it in multiple places. Hesitancy, what's happening from Demetrius Knight being like, hey, I need a check. Barrett Carter getting to the hole, but just not exploding through the ball. And then Shamar Stewart, I don't know what that is. If that's hesitancy or just getting absolutely owned, I'm not totally sure what we're going to call it. But by any stretch, this play sort of sums up so much. They're slow to react. They're getting beat up physically. And then in the back end, they're trailing in spots when they shouldn't be trailing. It's mistakes compounding on mistakes, but they start in so many ways with the rookies.
Is that it?
There's one more. There's one more play if you want to keep going through it, because we've got to make sure we get Shamar
saying.
Yeah, no,
that was a joke saying. Are those the only problems?
It's it. But yeah, outside of that, everything's great. Here we get to watch Shamar Stewart one more time. 97 here on the right side of your screen. This is a play he obviously should make. I mean, it's a free hitter on the running back, somehow not focused on the running back. Don't know how. And then we just get poor effort on the outside from just about everyone. I understand that Shamar Stewart doesn't have a ton of, quote, time on task that we heard about today. I understand that he missed some time in the offseason. I understand he's a rookie. I understand he's this raw prospect and whatever you want to call it. This is simple football. You are the edge. Justin Fields is out here running. But they're running this stuff over and over again. You have the running back, okay? Like, how do you get sucked up in this play? How do you just let the running back outside of you? If you're at that level, he can't be out there. You're a liability. That's the thing. Like, you can't, if you're at a level where you can't do that basic of a play, I don't really know how you're out there. And he's still going to be out there because he needs to learn and they're just living through it. But again, that seems to be so much a part of what all of this ties back to. It's a young player making mistakes that you make and you're living through them. And it's all of these young players are on the board for helping produce what you saw on Sunday.
I mean, Shamar is a huge storyline right now. Like we referenced this on the Friday show. Shamar had 5 frustration clap moments in 12 snaps against the Steelers, or I guess 22 snaps it was. That's efficient. They soft benched him after, in like the middle of the second quarter of that game. He came out of the gates playing a huge role, and then by the end, barely playing a role at all. But then against the Jets, Hendrickson gets hurt, and now you only have 3 edge rushers. Sometimes you have as many as 5. So you just need legs. So they're kind of, and I guess he's competing with Sed Johnson coming back from injury for snaps at this point. So Shamar probably will continue to play because at least theoretically offers you some presence at the line of scrimmage against the run, but you've seen none of that from Shamar. Aside from that one time he tossed the Browns offensive tackle, you've seen no flashes from Jamar. And sure, he's a project, it'll take time, but it's week 8, and a lot of the time that he's missed when you factor in the contract stuff was self-inflicted. So this is just the story of his rookie season.
Yeah, I mean, he feels lost right now. And not only that, and we're focusing on the run stuff, obviously the lack of pass rush is stunning in this game. And you see that in big spots on third downs. You see that in just about every time that the Jets did drop back. I want to pull up this. This is sort of the Jets game by game. This is the Jets game by game in terms of pressure percentage, sack percentage, and then there's blitz rate on there too. Al Golden was blitzing, at an okay rate. It just never got home. You didn't even notice they were blitzing half the time because it wasn't really doing much. But I mean, look at that. Look at the pressure percentage. I mean, the smallest number is in the mid 30s until you get to this one, and it's 18% for the Bengals. The previous worst was, I mean, they were up at almost 50% pressure percentage coming into this game allowed, and the Bengals post an 18%. They only have 7 pressures. This is via PFF pressures, and then no sacks. Which, oh, by the way, they'd allowed 20 in the previous 3 games. And you go in there and not only not getting sacks, not even getting pressure, 1 quarterback hit. It's not just, there's no winning happening. Chris Jenkins, not a single win. Win percentage 0.0%. Everybody low. Miles had a higher win percentage than some of the others, but it never really amounted to anything. But all of the numbers were low and not great. But I mean, it's just when Trey Hendrickson goes out, this was supposed to be their moment. This was going to be their chance, and the numbers and the plays and the film show that they didn't offer any of what you need to start to see right now.
And to me, what this chart screams is the 2 2-point conversions. I know one of them was a blitz. I believe both of them were blitzes. One of them, Demetrius Knight, the angle he takes is poor. He can't contain him. He's fooled and he's too slow on the play, and Fields runs in for a touchdown or for a 2-point conversion. And the other one's another scramble opportunity where Bear Carter kind of comes in with a delayed blitz when it's kind of the second play, and he misses a tackle. Then Demetrius Knight in the end zone kind of struggles to plaster there as well in coverage as Fields makes that throw on the 2-point conversion. So, but that came down to the lack of pass rush and then the blitz from Carter that didn't pan out. So, I mean, those are 2 plays. The first 2-point conversion, there was confusion and there was some struggle even getting the right guys on the field. Like, it's all of it. It's a defense that has to unplug and plug back in and then some.
Yeah. And so they will try to do that now, and just restart. I mean, they'll have this game against the Bears. We'll see how much it looks better. There'll be a bye week in there. There's just not a lot of changes, Charlie. Like, there's only so much that you can do, because these are the guys. Like, there's not somebody walking through that door who hasn't been here outside of a fully healthy Trey Hendrickson would make a huge deal. His on-off splits are substantial in terms of when he's on the field versus off the field. And I think a lot of this defense taking this significant downturn this year can go directly back to midway through that Green Bay game when he got hurt and went out. I mean, since then, it has been so bad, and they felt like a team that, needed a closer. They were without their closer yesterday, and they couldn't close out the Jets.
And they played the card, putting Barrett Carter in the lineup, but that was the only position where they had a Barrett Carter. Like, I guess last week, we learned that they let Cam Taylor-Britt and Josh Newton duke it out in practice and, see who's going to win that position battle to start a corner last week. Cam, by the way, quietly had a poor game, a concerning game, continuing what's been a disappointing season. Then, like, your backup safeties are PJ Jules and Tyson Anderson, and your backup your backup linebackers are the benched Logan Wilson and Oren Burks, and your backup edge rushers are Shamar Stewart and Sad Johnson, and your backup defensive tackles are Jordan Jefferson and McKinley Jackson. Like, these are the guys, and it's going to be a long process if these guys can get it figured out, or now it's 2027 and you're still trying to figure it out with the next guys.
Yeah. The quote today from Zach Taylor, this is where we're at. This is what they're doing. They're living through the growing pains right now. Maybe if there's one thing that you can do defensively is you can point to it couldn't feel worse almost than it felt the first month of the season in the run game. Now, Joe Flacco shows up. There's no quarterback that you can call in that can really change the dynamic of everything. But they were able to they had problems that looked unsolvable. They looked historically bad. And then the run game all of a sudden is great. I mean, all they do is get explosive runs now, apparently, after not being able to get one at all for the first month plus. And they have a great month on the ground. It can fix. It's just when you don't have something as powerful as the new quarterback to come in and kind of change the whole dynamic, it's really hard to do. But we should focus on, I do want to touch on this run game and what has happened. We do have to get into the coach's office, what we love to do here on the Rewatch. So let's do it. Let's hop in and get some coach's office time going. Presented by R&A Marketing. Before we get to Justin Hill, though, as our guest, I do want to remind you guys, by now, R&A Marketing because you're regular lovers of the coach's office and all things Rewatch. So by now, I hope you've made it over to our new website, thegrowlerpodcast.com. R&A Marketing, that's the group that's been the architect and helping us build our brand in the digital space. Not only do they sponsor this segment, they're helping shape the future of our digital home. We chose them because I wanted a strategic partner, somebody who can help us grow this brand, and you can go see the incredible work for yourself. Go to ramarketing.com and check that out. They built their reputation in furniture, high-end furniture and home goods, which you might think like that's weird, but it's not at all. Here's the key. We're working with them because their expertise isn't just about furniture. It's about building premium brands and driving measurable growth. That's what they're doing. They can create a beautiful, high-converting website, just like they're doing for us. They can do it for you and serve as a hub for your entire business. So if you're in professional services or tech or consumer goods or building a brand, or you want to do a podcast like us, the R&A playbook is designed to make you the premier choice in your market. I can't give a bigger endorsement than to tell you we chose them for our business too. On that note, let's bring in Justin Hill, shall we? All right, now we hop into the coach's office on Rewatch, and this week we are joined by Bengals running backs coach Justin Hill. Justin, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for having me.
I got to tell you, if on the flight back from Denver in the middle of the night, I would have said, hey, in the month of October, you're going to have the number one rushing offense in the league in terms of success percentage, what would you have said?
That's news to me. That sounds great. I'd trade it for some wins, though.
Yeah. What has been the key? I mean, you guys obviously have worked very hard on trying to get this thing on track after the start to the season. What do you think has been the key that has kind of unlocked a lot of what we're seeing in the running game right now?
I mean, you can point to a bunch of different things. Can we do some different things schematically? Can we execute better on the field? At the end of the day, what I told my guys in here is it doesn't matter what's called. It doesn't matter how it's called. We're never going to block all 11 on defense. At the end of the day, we got to go out and make plays. There's going to be an unblocked safety. There's going to be an unblocked linebacker from time to time. So, and then obviously we had a couple of those plays the other day and we turned them into explosives. So hats off to Chase and Samaje turning some of those 2 and 5 yard runs into 22 and 32-yard runs in the last couple of weeks. But again, you can point to a bunch of different things. At the end of the day, we got to do our job. We got to make miss in space, and that's what they've done.
The coolest part to me is how, especially the last 2 weeks, the under center run game is married up with the play action game. The screen game is married up with the shotgun run game, the way you're using RPOs. How have you seen kind of the complementary nature of this offense unfold, especially as you've had Flacco come in and play well at quarterback?
Yeah, and I think you just hit on a bunch of it. The play action game, complementing the run game, our RPOs, being able to just line up and just spit out a bubble to Jamar and let him do what he does in space. So I think it all ties together. And then the run game, honestly, it's really been pretty simple. We found success staying in between the tackles. Some of those were on second and long last week, and they popped for explosives. So it's not always just trying to scheme up the perfect thing. Sometimes it's just letting our guys go out there and making one miss, spitting out a bubble to Jamar. That's an extension of the run game, letting him make a safety or a corner miss and generate a big home run play that way as well. So I think everything ties together, but at the end of the day, guys have gone out and done a great job executing.
Coming into this year, it felt like, man, Chase Brown is about to explode, and he really has that. Over the last month, you've certainly seen that. But I think there was a thought of, Samaje in pass pro. He's reliable. He's trustworthy. He's been around. He's really, found this niche again, I guess, here out of the shotgun, the downhill, whether these second and long runs have what is it about his game that has helped him fit in that role so well, not just this year, but really whenever he's been here? It seems like that's been a good fit for him.
Yeah, I mean, both of those guys, Chase and Samaje, like that just scheme fits for what we do. Obviously, if we're going to sit back and throw the ball 40 times a game, to be a back in this offense, you got to be reliable in protection, and both of those guys are. They've shown time and time again. Obviously, Samaje when he was here, his first stint, and then Chase at the end of last year when he was on the field for damn near every snap. That's number one. You got to be able to do that and be reliable and keep your quarterback off the ground. And then obviously with the amount of gun runs that we've implemented the last couple of years, that fits both of those guys. And then, Chase's his burst and his speed, being able to make DBs miss at the second level and bounce off of linebackers, and then Samaje as well. Samaje can make you miss as well. He's more of a downhill guy, but at the end of the day, you still gotta wrap him up. You gotta bring him down. And you saw what happened on this touchdown run the other day when you put him one-on-one with the safety. So it might look different, Samaje and Chase making guys miss in space. Chase might be, 1-2 step and crossing face and making you miss or spinning off of a tackle, where Samaje is just more of a slasher. He's going to hit the hole and he's going to run through half an arm tackle and they keep going. But at the end of the day, the results are the same. So those guys are both great scheme fits for what we do.
Let me go ahead and pull that play up. This is, if you can just kind of talk us through the Samaje touchdown here. I'll take it back to the beginning. I mean, this is kind of exactly what you're talking about, right? I mean, it's out of the shotgun.
Yeah.
2nd and 10. These have been efficient for you guys specifically lately. This is the first one we've really seen bust like this for Samaje. What did you see? What did he do well on this run?
I mean, I guess since you got the tape right there, obviously, making miss in space. But you look at the end zone view. I mean, we're just in a 1-by-3. It's a gun run on 2nd and 10, which is probably pretty heavy pass tendency for us, but it's a great job by those guys up front. If you watch the combo between Ted and Dylan on the shade, I mean, we talk about creating double teams and generating movement. I mean, just watch Ted finish the nose right there. I don't think you get better movement than that throughout the course of the game. You couldn't ask for more. And just across the board, you got, the right side, you got Mims and Drew working on the DN and the safety. On the backside, you got OB cutting off the DN. I mean, just start to finish is great execution all the way around. But then, like I said, you got Samaje one-on-one with the safety in space. Like that, you couldn't ask for more. That's what you're looking for. And those guys are doing a great job just capitalizing on those opportunities at the second level.
It felt like kind of about at that point in this game, Samaje got hot. The run game between the tackles got hot. You stuck with Samaje maybe even for a couple extra more carries. How real is kind of the hot hand at the running back position when you find runs that are really working for you?
No, I think that's real. But honestly, both of those guys, Chase came off the field after he had a couple of big plays, and he came off on the sideline and was like, I'm hot, I'm feeling it. And then obviously you see Samaje pop a run as well, and he's not going to say it, but you know he's feeling it too. So it's great when you can just kind of balance those guys and keep them fresh and let them both get their touches in different ways and let the results be the same.
Speaking of feeling it, early in the game, what I noticed is not just the fact that, so close to the house, the reaction afterwards, immediately feeling it, the juice after the run.
Yeah.
When you see that, do you know, like, okay, it feels like this is going to be a day if we've got this kind of energy going?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, this is, I think, the 7th play of the game, and when you pop an explosive like that early on, you see Chase's reaction. You know it's going to be a good day. And not just Chase, but you watch the O-line feed off of that, and then, you watch Dylan right here at left guard. We got a free safety down in the box, and anytime we get our left guard on a DB at the point of attack, and he removes him from, I think he makes contact with him right about the split, right in between the hash and the numbers, and then runs him out outside the numbers. So when we get plays like that, when we get movement like that on the 7th play of the game, it's going to be a good day for the run game.
You got a couple jump cuts in there from Chase. Like he finds the lane. Is that vision? Like what are the specific traits you're seeing there? Footwork, like what are the traits that make that run?
Yeah, I mean, just like the obvious, the vision to see that, the quick cut, we call it an S cut to get back out play side. That was all good. The other thing that I don't think is pointed out is just how smart these guys are, like Chase and Samaje. They know the looks. They know where the combos are going. So pre-snap, those guys anticipate what's about to happen. We see a shade on the front side. We're anticipating, maybe if Ted gets it reach, we're keeping the play side. But if he doesn't, we're quick to react off of it, which is exactly what Chase did. So I thought he did a great job of that, just seeing, anticipating, and being able to just play fast. And then obviously Chase has got the burst to hit a home run, which you see him turn on right there.
One other way is out of the backfield. I feel like we see this get featured in your offense a lot. His game has grown so much. You watch him when you know he's going to be matched up on a linebacker before a play. I'm sure you probably know this is what you want to see. What has evolved in his game where he has become such a weapon with plays, like this right out of the backfield?
Yeah, I mean, just his ability, obviously, to run routes. Obviously, he's got the speed, but just like the strong hands catch right here that he makes is impressive. Obviously, you see him matched up one-on-one with the linebacker. That's what you want. And then the other part of that, too, is, I mean, he catches that ball at the, 15-yard line. And then as he's at the 10, he's got 2 safeties in between himself and the end zone. And the best, most efficient way to get into the end zone is what we call just C2 and split 2. Is exactly what Chase did right there. Not just picking one and trying to make one miss and set up some cuts and do too much. He's just putting his foot down, making one cut, getting vertical and splitting both defenders. He gets contact made at the 5-yard line and then finishes forward for the next 6 into the end zone. So, I mean, obviously you got great protection. You got a great throw. It's honestly pretty good coverage, but a better catch and a better ball by Chase and by Joe. And then the finish is just what makes it just an unbelievable play all the way around.
And you see it from the linebacker there, but I feel like you could, any of Chase Brown's big plays, man, when guys go for the leg tackle, it never really seems to work. Chase probably has a pretty good batting average when guys go for his legs.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah. I mean, obviously that's what you want. You want Chase being able to just shed a tackle here and there. If he gets one step on, whether it be a linebacker or a safety, chances are it's going to be a pretty good result for the Bengals.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for the insight into your room and letting us into your office here. I talk a little bit about some of the plays that were big explosives on a big day for the running back room for sure, despite the fact that it didn't turn out with a W. I certainly appreciate your time popping in with us, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Anytime.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great stuff from Justin Hill there. Appreciate him joining us in the coach's office, presented by R&A Marketing. A reminder, whether you're in professional services, tech, consumer goods, whatever it is, the R&A playbook is designed to make you the premier choice in your market. So hit them up today. can't give a bigger endorsement than to tell you I'm trusting them with my business. So visit ramarketing.com. That's ramarketing.com. Schedule a consultation. Tell them the Growler podcast sent you. All right, well, let's wrap it up. Normally we get into our NFL Pro Potpourri, a few things that we found going through the tape. Charlie, what'd you see?
Well, I lasered back in on the final two offensive series, and it, made me look forward to all the Joe Burrow takes that we've cycled through. And, everyone wants him to play more like Flacco, just get rid of the ball, rip it. You need to extend plays, and play extension and a lack of creation was what I saw as the difference on the final two stops that the Jets defense got against the Bengals offense that basically won the game for New York, on that side of the ball, at least. On second down, on the first drive, Flacco just ripping the ball as soon as he feels any sort of pressure, even before Andre Yosevach is open. That's incomplete. Then on third down, you have Flacco trying to step out of the pocket because nothing's there, and he can't get there. So he gets sacked and he gets banged up, and now he's day-to-day. On third down on the next series, you have kind of on a longer developing play. There's an edge kind of looping around Jalen Rivers at right guard, and Flacco can extend again, and he just has to step back, bail on the play, and throw it as far as he can, which wasn't as far as he normally can because he looked a bit banged up. And then fourth down's another example similar to the first ball to Yoshi, where he just has to kind of fire as soon as he feels anything. Even before Andre's open, because he can't quite get to the second play. So you need scrambling ability. You need play creation. You can't just play one way of football if you want to be a superstar quarterback like Joe Burrow is trying to be.
Yeah. I mean, he's not Burrow. The one thing, I think we do have to wonder about how much the injury was at play, particularly on that fourth down. I mean, you see him, earlier take the shot a little bit further down the field, the one that gets batted up into the air and it's kind of up and high and behind Yoshi. T is coming in on a wrap in that looks open enough, certainly across the sticks, because there was no saying if the Yoshi ball underneath gets completed, he even gets there. But it seemed like it was an opportunity maybe to turn and rip that to T. You just wonder if at that point he was like, man, I ripped one before and that was hard to get off. I don't know if that I can make that throw right now because of whatever's going in short. That's speculative on my part. But I think when you look at what was kind of in front of them and considering it was fourth down, they had to get to that mark. I wondered if you have to wonder if that was part of the decision making because it was not an aggressive throw. And obviously it ended up coming in a little low and incomplete and all that stuff.
I mean, look at these four plays through that lens. The first ball to Yosevach is high and behind him, inaccurate placement. Second down, they call a run. Third down, you again have Flacco just trying to get it out of bounds, and either he can barely get it there because he's off balance, or maybe it's this stuff we're alluding to. And then the fourth down play, the ball just kind of dies. Like the ball just kind of like a curveball almost, like spins away and takes a nosedive away from Yoshi, away from where Yoshi can make a play. I made a joke about him earlier. I blame none of what happened on these final two series on Yosevach. The plays weren't there from his perspective.
Well, to me, the fourth down is all about. I thought they missed Gesicki. That's a Gesicki. That's a Gesicki choice in the middle. There's a ton of space. They're double. Gesicki's the guy who's going to win that, and you're going to throw it high and outside. Yoshi gets caught coming off the line. He doesn't get free. He gets held up, and he's unable to power through it and get detached and get open. That is a play that I feel like, and that might have been a game where you see Gesicki have a big day when a team is doing what they are doing in those plays that, you end up going to Andre, and that's fine. But he was unable to break free. I don't blame the catch point stuff, but I do think you want a guy to be able to get open and create some separation, and he really wasn't able to create much separation on the fourth down throw. If we're breaking down that one, and specifically, I'm not going to too much.
You're right. Yeah,
hold the deeper ball against him.
I overlooked that in my notes, the part how he got jammed and stuff. Yes, that's on him, where he needs to do a better job springing open before Flacco throws it.
Yeah, but I'm not like calling those drops. You know what I mean? Like that's tough catch. You'd love to see a dude make that play, but you're asking a lot. I'm not gonna put that on his ledger. There's plenty of other drops on Yoshi's ledger that do belong. That is not one of them. All right. We're not going to stop doing these. We'll of course have it coming your way after Bengals and Bears on Sunday. So next Monday, look for the latest rewatch as we keep chugging through the season. Thanks again to Justin Hill for joining, and our good friends at R&A Marketing for sponsoring Coach's Office. Always great to have the insight from the coaches and everything going on there. And we'll keep doing it. We'll keep breaking it down. We'll keep seeing whatever they put out there is what we're going to talk about, good, bad, or indifferent. And after this one, there wasn't as much good on the defensive side of the ball, but you never know what's going to happen next week. Maybe next week we'll be talking about, I don't know, Russ Yeast or something like that.
You know,
that's a deep inside cut on the Russ Yeast factor.
Safety 3 ? Maybe we'll know by December.
All you fans listening right now, go consult your Bengals roster. See if you can track down some Russ Yeast out there. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening and for watching. And we'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.